along to Independent Off-Tube Studio commentary of the last 16 game between France and Poland. France topping Group D, albeit having lost last time out to Tunisia. Poland coming second to Argentina in Group C, having beaten Saudi Arabia, drawn with Mexico and lost to the Argentinians. But it proved to be enough due to Mexico's lack of firepower, really, in the pool. As you'd imagine, after that disappointing result against Tunisia, France have made a number of changes, 9 in all. It's a big day for their skipper, Hugo Lloris, who equals Lilian Thuram's record of 142 caps for his country. Will he get a number 143 next Saturday against either England or Senegal? Those two play this evening. You can catch that game on this service. The quarter-final, and either France or Poland will be next Saturday. You can catch that on this service as well. We have kicked off, and straight away France are on the attack, and straight away Frankowski has gone through his man. We get an early free kick for Les Bleus. I'm Jack Ogilvie, joined by John Hogan. It's actually Berezinski who committed the foul. A pretty industrial challenge.
Yeah, I think they'll be sharing the fouls around today, won't they? It wouldn't be a big surprise to see somebody get sent off. It just depends how agricultural they have to get against a team who've got too much class for them. I can't see anything other than France winning by 2 clear goals at the very least. When I've watched Poland, they just can't get the ball to Lewandowski. 1 or 2 older heads in there. They're good, solid players, but I don't see them scoring, and I can't see them holding France at bay either. So I think this could end up being one-sided. It depends how early France score.
I'll run you through the team news after this free kick. Griezmann will take it from the right-hand side, left-footed. It's over everyone and goes out on the full for a goal kick. So France line up 4-2-3-1. Lloris in goal. Also the captain, Koundé, Varane, Upamecano and Hernandez. Tchouameni and Rabiot in the middle of the park, with Griezmann, Dembele and Mbappe supporting Olivier Giroud, who himself is going for a record today. Joint top as far as the leading goal scorers for France go, alongside Thierry Henry on 51. Of course, all the talk for Poland is about Robert Lewandowski. He'll play up front. Szczesny will be in goal. Berezinski, Glick and Kirior, the back three. Kash, Szymanski, Krychowiak and Frankowski in midfield, with Zielinski and Kaminski supporting Lewandowski. 2 players come in for them. Christian Bielik and Karol Swiderski dropping out, and it's Kaminski and Szymanski who come in. Just looking at that Polish side, it's pretty obvious. You've got 2 superstars. Unfortunately, one plays in goal, one plays up front.
Yeah, I think the other player who's not bad is Zielinski, but he's not. I don't think he's playing well. I think he's scored in the tournament, but I thought in open play he didn't play particularly well at all. He has got an eye for goal, but like I said, I think they're really going to be troubled by a French team where there's stacks of goals in them. You know, Griezmann, you mentioned Giroud trying to level the record, and if they can stop those 2, great, but you probably won't stop Mbappe. I mean, you know, they have a nap hand, and they're the champions as well. Nobody's going to gift it to France, but like I said, I just don't. I've been thinking about, I can't see how Poland get through this without conceding. I just don't. Michniewicz, the Polish coach, makes me laugh. He's saying, we need to get the ball, more ball to Lewandowski, because what can he do with the ball we've been giving him? Well, hang on, mate. You set the team up. You know, you could have tried to get more ball to him by being a slightly less defensive nature. As we see, the first header that goes over the top was that Varane. Yeah, he runs away from that. We're 4 minutes in already. It's like shots in, Jack, and I can't help but think it'll be one-sided.
Yeah, Poland haven't really had a touch so far. Varane got up well between Glick and Kiriot. I think maybe just didn't get his angles right on that occasion. You mentioned Zielinski. Poland have almost got the same situation with him as they have with Lewandowski. Just can't get the ball to him on a regular basis. He's had a fine season with Napoli as Koundé just bounces off Frankowski. It'll be a throw to France just inside their own half. Jules Koundé, the man to take it. The Barcelona, and he probably introduces himself as a central defender, but plays right back a lot, despite publicly admitting that he's not really keen on the position, but he must be pretty good if he's playing there at the World Cup. Of course, there is A bit of a worry for France in that they did lose their last knockout game to Switzerland at the Euros, didn't they? On penalties, Kylian Mbappe missing as Lloris plays a risky ball to Upamecano. Very confident by the French there. They're going to play from the back as well. Theo Hernandez will give it to Kylian Mbappe, who tries to work his way through. Hernandez gets it back. In fact, it's Rabiot now. Hernandez in for his brother Luca, of course, who limped off in the opening game against Australia. It's all a bit frightful at the moment, and Poland, that's probably the game plan they're going to need to employ. Kaminski nods it to Zielinski. Now Lewandowski. Cash takes over. 1-2 between himself and Lewandowski. Puts not a bad ball in fact, but there's no one in the box. Comfortable for Hugo Lloris, who will look to set his side off early and just decides to calm things down.
One thing I can say what I like about France winning by 2 clear goals and all that, but Poland have got a shot to nothing, haven't they, essentially? Nobody expects them to go through. It's up to them how much energy they want to put in it. We just saw Szymanski herring around there, the fine old man, putting them under pressure. You've got to go out there with a mindset that we're going to cause an upset. We're going to get stuck into them. We're not going to let them have easy ball, I guess earlier it'd be easy to sort of spring that surprise, before the game settles down. While you've got your energy and all that, there could be an upset. But I just think the longer the game goes at 0-0, even that it will provide more of an opportunity for France, who will dominate possession and then territory. And then already we're seeing Lewandowski, he's defending and he's below the centre circle. How is he supposed to score from there? And if that pattern is set to continue, then it's going to be a big problem. But for the moment, they've started with a bit of spirit of Poland, and clearly, they'd be looking to spring a shock. It's still just 11 against 11 last time I counted, and that gives every team a chance.
Yeah, strong challenge there by Theo Hernandez. Our referee is from Venezuela, Jesus Valenzuela. 39-year-old, his second game at the competition. The other was 0-0 draw, unfortunately. England against the USA. Hopefully we'll get a bit more goal-mouth action than that frustrating Friday evening. Last week and a bit ago, as Poland looked to go back to front early. It was Sampdoria's Bereszynski who was latching onto it, but too strong in the end. They were announced as a back three, but maybe Bereszynski's playing as a left back. He plays on the right for Sampdoria, or as a centre half, so a bit of a reshuffle potentially, as Upamecano strolls out of defence untested by a Polish defender. Theo Hernandez, now Tchouaméni, who's had such an assured start to life at Real Madrid. Back to Lloris in orange kit this afternoon. Still goalless in the early stages, as Raphael Varane will just wander forward and find Ousmane Dembele. He tries to play it first time to Griezmann. It wasn't the best ball, but it's cut out, and because of the very disciplined setup of Poland, it means they've got no chance of winning the second ball as France come forward again, down the left to Mbappe, then inside to Dembele. He's playing a roaming role so far. He goes left to right. He's got Koundé to his right hand side. Griezmann drops off. Has been playing deeper in this competition, hasn't he? Now Tchouaméni and Theo Hernandez. All the Polish shirts by Lewandowski's behind at the ball as Griezmann just tries to slide it through to Mbappe, chased in from the left-hand side. And now is a chance for Zielinski to potentially set something up. He's on the right. Cruyff turned back inside, loose touch by Matty Cash, just takes any potential momentum away. He's gone down the line, looking for Lewandowski. I half expected the flag to go up, but it was nodded down nice by Upamecano. Now Tchouaméni into Griezmann and Rabiot down the left hand side to Mbappe, where he wants to be, works his way towards the box, step over, Giroud makes his way towards the near post. It was the wrong run in the end, headed away out for a corner by Bereszynski, but just put the pace into the game there, and Mbappe so dangerous. Could Dembele maybe anticipated a bit better?
Maybe. He wasn't that good of a ball, but the point is that he beat his man easily. So just toe poke the ball ahead of you and then put a cross in. And if all his teammates watching that thinking, you know what, next time he does that, I'm going to break my neck to get to far post because I could get a tap in. You know, it's as simple as that, and they've won a corner kick, so plenty of pressure already.
Griezmann's ball in, Szczesny does well, punches away for Poland to safety. Hernandez picks it up, left-footed ball is a deep one towards Varane. It's over everyone, Griezmann still out there on the right-hand side, teases it in. It's away by Berezinski, one on the edge of the area by Koundé, but he only finds a Polish player. The ball towards Zielinski's not the best, Dembele's quick. And we'll go back to Hugo Lloris. Zielinski continues his run, wants to put pressure on the goalkeeper, equaling that cap record of Lilian Thuram today. Cap 142 for the Tottenham captain. Coolly done. And now Rabiot picks up on the left-hand side. He finds Mbappe. They're trying to overload that left, so Mbappe gets as much ball. He goes past Cash. Flicked on, was it by Giroud? No. Dembele, back post. And well recovered by Berezinski. He missed the initial ball, but he sent Dembele down the line. It will be a corner kick, but Mbappe looking on frightening form.
Yeah, he's so quick, isn't he? I mean, Matty Cash, transformed winger. We know he's very competitive and pretty quick, but he just left him behind these afterburners there. You know, too easy that. As the ball comes in, that's dealt with and blocked away. But literally 11 minutes of shots in, and it's only going to end up one way. Paul have really got to think about what they're doing with Mbappe. I'd like to see somebody get touch tight to him all the time. You know that when he starts running against you, you're going to lose. So get close. Make sure he doesn't get the ball. You know, if you're always marking him, whenever they look up to play the ball to him and there's somebody on him, he's not going to get the ball. That's what I'd be doing. And as soon as the ball floats over to get to him and he can get the ball, you're stood off 10 yards because you can't keep up with him. You know, it might mean that he's going to get an easy cross in, but then it's up to the rest of the defenders to work it out. Otherwise, you go toe-to-toe, you're going to rush past you, get to the byline. When the ball comes back from the byline, you've got your central defenders looking at their own goal. Is exactly where you don't want to be. So, Paul have got to think really quickly about how they're going to deal with the threat.
I covered the Dutch's, the Netherlands win over the USA yesterday, and they haven't got the greatest squad, but the way they're set up is really, really good. And it was quite telling to see that how well coached they are, and that every time a USA player turned, the first three shirts you saw were orange ones. They always had bodies around the ball. I think Poland do something similar to that. Yeah,
but they stood off, aren't they? I mean, it's for me, it's not enough. You think, defensive shape, and all the Polish players just drift back into their own half. But look at them. A lot of them are facing towards their own goal. You know, it's difficult on the turn. If you've got a team playing in front against you, it's easy. If you're facing that way, a shot comes in, that's a save by the keeper, pushed out. You know, we saw Spain at times. I think they were beaten by Switzerland once in a European competition. Everything played in front of them. But here, France, we can see making runs, trying to get in behind. It's a different ball game. They've got too much pace. That shot that came in was a decent strike, wasn't it, from Tchouaméni? And needed saving, but it just looked like shots in. It looked like one team is way better than the other team, and they're proving it right from the get-go here.
Yeah, short corner, and Mbappe gets into the box too easy, tries to slide it back to Griezmann. He was at the byline, and it's well away by Poland in the end. But there's all the action at Szczesny's end at the moment. France going left to right on our TV pitch in this first half in the navy blue shirts, white shorts, red socks, white shirts, white socks, and red shorts for Poland, as we're accustomed to. That's a poor ball by Rafa Varane. It's cut out. Koundé, though, helps him out. Now Dembele can have a run down the line. He's got Berezinski, who does well initially, but allows him to come inside. Swept across to Mbappe. Two men get around him, one of them being Matty Cash, and he overruns it. It has to be a handball, surely. No, play on according to the referee. Szymanski comes away with it, shows too much of it to Theo Hernandez. Maybe he does, and Kaminski covers some good ground going forward, but has to do it all on his own. Numbers game as Upamecano comes back and tackles him, and Rabiot will wander away with the ball untested. Koundé now sweeps a ball without a name in between the two centre-halves. Upamecano just sorts his feet out though and can cover up. Under no pressure, Mbappe tries to play it down the line. That wasn't great. Zielinski will pick up the pieces and find Lewandowski, the skipper. Isolated though, he's having to go back towards his own half. Kaminski now. Across to Kirior, the Spezia centre-half, who's been heavily linked to a move to the Premier League. West Ham thought to be interested amongst others come January. The Hammers, of course, have lost a French centre-half to injury. Kurt Zouma has had knee surgery, so he'll be out for a spell. Kirior in the shop window as Theo Hernandez, AC Milan fullback, wanders forward. Poland dropping back into their shape. It's almost basketball like this, isn't it? Every time they lose possession, they get back into the formation as Rabiot has it. Centre field, 40 yards out. Griezmann slots it through to Giroud. Ooh! 5 years ago, that would have been a wonderful ball.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure in 5 years ago we would have got it. I don't think he's lost that much in pace. I like Giroud. Oftentimes I've thought that, you saw him on the bench for the big clubs and you think, I'd be starting him. He never seems to let anybody down, does he? But yeah, just an ace away from being a great ball. That very difficult when you're rolling it right through the middle. But it's like how many ways to skin a cat. They can get round the back. Griezmann's still a great player in my opinion. We haven't seen much of him this tournament, but they share it around, don't they? And for Poland, it's just a struggle. I was wondering about this French team, though. I mean, obviously Mbappe is great. And I think that he stands head and shoulders above anything else in the team. And I think with Mbappe in the team, I fancy them to get to the final. I really do. Without Mbappe, if he picks up an injury, that kind of thing, I just wonder, then would France be good enough? I'm not sure about that. So I think a lot is wrapped up with Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, he's the real X-factor player, isn't it? Going back to Giroud, of course, he suffered a huge blow the week before the tournament with Karim Benzema being ruled out as Dembele comes forward. Giroud takes the bodies away, and that's what Giroud gives you. He takes the bodies away. Dembele's shot is a weak one in the end. It's that weird situation, isn't it, where Benzema is a better player, but they're arguably a better side with Giroud in it. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of weird, but I think it would have been a bigger blow had the tournament been last year. Benzema had an unbelievable season, didn't he? And I mean, he could do no wrong. One of the main reasons why Real Madrid won the Champions League was his form. He's got a lot of good players around him, but he had a sensational year. But like you say, you're not really losing that much off this year's form with Giroud in the team. And he looks sort of reinvigorated, if you like. Pleased to be alive, pleased to be there playing. And in some good form too.
He scored as many goals as Poland at this tournament, twice against Australia. Both of Poland's goals came against Saudi Arabia in their second match of 3 in the pool stages, as a speculative ball into the French box. Trundles out for a goal kick. Kylian Mbappe, in fact, has scored more goals than Poland. He's got 3 for the tournament. First real shots of Didier Deschamps out of contract on New Year's Eve. Talk of Zinedine Zidane coming in. He doesn't seem to have mentioned either way what his intentions are. I think if he wins this competition, it's his choice to make. If he doesn't, I'm not quite sure. But World Cup winning captain, World Cup winning manager, he's got plenty in the bank, hasn't he? Then Theo Hernandez finds Griezmann. Hernandez continued his run, but Cash read it well from Griezmann. But the ball has to be a backwards one from Kaminski, and now all the way back to Wojciech Szczesny, who saved 2 penalties in this competition. He's made more saves than any other goalkeeper as well, which is pretty remarkable when you think that his team have got through to the last 16. This is a worrying moment from Upamecano, and just about got in ahead of Frankowski. The problem France have got at the moment is switching off themselves, but you have to say Poland may be growing in a bit of confidence as Cash, he comes forward inside to Lewandowski. An obvious ball, it was well read by Varane, then Upamecano, and Griezmann. He's got Dembele wide. He wants a free kick, I'm not quite sure why. Koundé, then Dembele overruns it, and just slowly but surely, Poland playing with a bit more energy.
I don't think there's a shortage of energy from them at any point, but I just, like I said, when it all starts cranking into gear for Les Bleus, they just look a different outfit, don't they? I mean, a lot of the players that they've got have just got blinding pace as well. France, as well as technically being a strong team, Koundé with a good defensive header there. And then they're trying to make ground through Dembele. Dembele's star's not exactly rising, is it, at Barca? Did they want him? Did they not? Do you know what I mean? But again, he's a player that they kind of move heaven and earth to get. And, you know, once he's back on form, you just think, again, potential world beater. You know, they've got some serious talent, haven't they? And for once, I think for Deschamps, it's nearly all come together, hasn't it? Yeah. You know, you need that little bit of luck, and all of a sudden, things click into place when you've got good players, and he certainly has that.
Of course, no Paul Pogba or N'Golo Kante, but Tchouameni's been brilliant in the middle of the park for France, as Mbappe again gets past his man, cap number 32 today for Dembele, as Tchouameni works it in. Giroud's gone down, there's a bit of a scramble, Griezmann's offside, Szczesny flaps it away, and then Glick finds a really good ball to Kaminski on the right hand side. He goes for I'm not quite sure, for a switch of play. Lewandowski's actually come up with it, beats Tchouameni, goes for goal. The goalkeeper is at full stretch as well, springing to his left hand side, wide of the target though.
Yeah, I think that was a decent counter attack. The ball forward wasn't great when they had 4 against 3. But then it breaks to Lewandowski, who makes his own look there. His shot always going wide. Keeper Lloris diving across. It's good stuff, that. I was thinking about Pogba. In a way, some players, it's like, if he was available, might have started a game like this. But I always think, he's a player who wants to gallop forward. In this team, you got to put him as a sort of defensive holding midfielder, but you don't want to play there. It's almost like he's shoehorning talent in, but he's somebody who wouldn't want to be chasing back for something like that. So I think it may be a good thing that he's not in this current squad, and that may actually aid and abet France.
Yeah, for me, Tchouameni looks like a defensive-minded Pogba, really languid in his movements, smooth on the ball, can play both right and left, and always happy to have it, always in space, as Koundé gets the ball out his feet, goes for goal. Comfortable for Szczesny. Barcelona might just opened up for him. He was unopposed. Decent effort, but...
he caught hold of it, didn't he? Made it hard. Yeah, I like Tchouameni. I like somebody who knows what he wants to do. It's not about ego. It's like I've got this role, and I know that when I fulfill it well, I do great. It is a shame that Kante's missing, because he is a superb player in that position too. You want that insurance, don't you? We've seen a couple of times here with Poland breaking that some of the France midfield don't necessarily want to get back. Players like Rabiot need to. Here's a chance for Poland in the box. There you go. And then the final ball just lacks a little bit.
Szymanski though rescues it on the far side. He tries to toe poke it back to Zielinski, but Rabiot's got too much pace, and then finds Mbappe. It's a foot race, and Cash has got quick feet too, and he beats Mbappe to the ball, and coolly turns away to find Krakowiak in space.
Yeah, he did really well there. He'd been beaten a couple of times, hadn't he, by the pace of Mbappe, but he needs to get that inside track. He needs to understand how quick he is, and he does do now, because Mbappe, just toe poke the ball past him and run past him. So he's got a vague idea now how many yards he needs to give him, where he needs to be. He's a good player. You don't see Matty Cash getting beaten regularly. So that's up to him to sort it out. It's not just about blinding pace. It's about starting position, where you need to be, and maybe Cash has worked that out.
Yeah, the game just seems to have settled down a bit. Krakowiak has it just inside his own half. He'll roll it back to Jakub Kiwior, and we have passed into the second quarter of the game. Poland looking to come forward. The ball has gone out for a throw, has it not? No, Koundé hooks it over his shoulder. Dembele can't control, and John will take us through to half-time.
Yeah, I too, I got Berezinski in a centre-back role, but he's on the left-hand side, left-back seemingly today, as Poland have the ball back on the right-hand side with Matty Cash, the Aston Villa man. A little ball with Kaminski. They try and make ground, and they do. Lewandowski goes short. I wonder about that. I think he thinks things are going to break down before the ball reaches him, and he's not making the obvious runs into the box. Again, he goes short, but he's not going to get on that one. The ball breaks for Berezinski, who rolls it round the side. They're not going to get there. the cutback. I think that ball had gone out. Play still goes on, and the shot comes in. That's blocked away. But I think any goal would have been ruled out there. I'm pretty certain that ball went out.
We thought that for Japan against Spain the other night, didn't we? So
yeah, no, it's true enough. Play until the whistle, or at least until you've seen the evidence. And then even when you do see the evidence, they might not give you the decision that you think. Anyway, Poland on the ball. After a bright start, France have just seen the Poles getting hold of it a little bit more. It's almost like France are taking a breather at the moment, which they can ill afford. Anyway, the ball goes out to left-hand side for Berezinski, but he's robbed. Was he fouled by Dembele? I think so, and more importantly, so too does Jesus Valenzuela. Where's he from again, our referee?
Venezuela.
He's from Venezuela. So, he'd be a Jesus rather than a Jesus, I think. Anyway, it is goalless at the Al Tumana Stadium. Just waxing lyrical about Tchouaméni, but I think he will have work to do. Didier Deschamps, of all people, knows how important it is to have somebody who carries the ball in midfield and does the unsung yards. And the best spell of the game this last 5 minutes for Poland, who got on it a little bit more. Now they've got a chance to sling the ball in the mixture. Szymanski, I think, a false start from him, and a little step over there. There's a ball into the box, up go the heads, it bounces through the box. Lewandowski will pick it up on the far side. He is held up by Theo Hernandez. The Juve man, now Krychowiak, just strokes the ball forward. Right hand side at the edge of the area, trying to work it and giving away. Or rather that Griezmann anticipated. And here is Mbappe, and it's a foot race, and it's a foot race that he's going to win. Beats one but can't beat the cover coming across. And in the end, I think Poland did quite well to get bodies across there. You always think when you see him flying that he's not coming back. But although he ran past Frankowski, he couldn't beat them all.
I think he was indicating he was pulled back there, but he pulled up so quickly. I think the referee wasn't interested, because I thought he could have got onto it. But no, Poland got bodies across there, and he just seemed to play to his own whistle a bit there, Mbappe. Yeah,
it's right. I think he turns the ball away, wins the foot race there, but he did run into the next man. I think the covering player there just timed it nicely. Poland back on the ball in white shirts today, red shorts, white socks, and there's blue in their blue shirts, white shorts for them, and red socks. Both teams very recognisable, and the style that they play recognisable too. I think Poland, for me, have done a little bit better this first half already than I was sort of anticipating. But if you can't play up for a game like this, then you might as well quit, because this is the sort of game that everybody dreams about, really. Chance to knock out the current champions, as we see. What was that? I'd like to think it wasn't a shot from inside their own half, but it was a poor long ball. Bit of desperation there with Kivio's ball. Anyway, Hernandez now making ground as the ball just back with Tchouaméni, stopped in his tracks. And now again, Hernandez just over the halfway line, held up by Kaminski, the Wolfsburg man. And a bit of slow play from France. As Rabiot picks it up and tries to fire it forward for Giroud, but the ball breaks. And it is Krychowiak. And then I thought the break was on there. They needed to use that ball a lot more quickly. Just got really too conservative there, didn't they?
He's got to go forward there first time. You feel like Krychowiak, because that's a miscontrol. I thought the ball had gone out of play, but France are going to play on.
Yeah, and an opportunity. Dembele into the box, and they tap in. Is it? Oh, sliding at the far post. Giroud misses out. I don't think that was a sympathetic ball from Dembele. I think he's going for the strike, and he gets it wrong. Hits it across the goalkeeper. Giroud sliding in close to making it 1-0.
It should have been 1-0, and Giroud should have been the outright top goal scorer, although they may have brought it out back for a throw. And Griezmann perfectly weighted, and then Dembele hammers it towards Giroud. He just needed to roll it to him, and he just passes that into the net, but he's stretching all the time and couldn't get his left foot to the ball.
No, he couldn't. A really unsympathetic ball across that from Dembele. A shot of adrenaline there mixed in with everything else. Terrible play from Przemysław Frankowski. The lensman had made a right haulix of that. And as soon as France break there. You just thought, oh, it's going to be a goal. That's the problem for Poland. The further they get up the field, the more chance that France can break on them quickly. As we see a long ball forward, and Kaminski runs for it, showing the back there from Hernandez. Helped him out. Couldn't quite bring that one in, too much on it. So France 0, Poland 0. And if Poland can't get the ball to Lewandowski, we know that France can get the ball to Mbappe, and that could prove to be the difference. Half an hour gone, but I would say that Poland are playing pretty well, though. They've certainly come out, set their stall out, a lot of energy in there, and they've had a few more chances going forward than I thought.
I was a bit worried for them early on, but they have come into this game. It's about creating a pattern of play where they can regularly have a go at France, as the French come forward with Dembele and Chouameni. There's always, it wasn't a great ball, but to illustrate the point I was going to make, there's always bodies moving in front of him and filling the space, isn't there, where you don't have that same fluidity with the Polish play.
No, I mean, we saw Mbappe there just touch the ball back, then Griezmann runs into the middle. They've got players playing in the gaps between the two banks of Polish players, and that could prove to be vital. But this, for the moment, the ball goes back with Szczesny, who launches it toward the halfway line. Little flick there from Kaminski, and it comes off Hernandez, and that will be a throw. Michniewicz just looking down in his technical area, just meandering around, really. You just imagine his heart's beating out of his chest, thinking about, the possibility that they could, win this game as they win the ball in midfield. Krychowiak's done really well. Then a good ball out to the left-hand side. A chance for Frankowski. He immediately has got two to get round, but he finds a gap in between him, then runs through a brick wall called Chouameni, and the referee's given a yellow card. I don't believe it. How could he get out of the way of that? He just stood his ground there. The referee's given him a yellow card, and Aurelien Chouameni now is walking a tightrope, and I don't think that's fair.
No, that's unfortunate for Chouameni. You can see him there speaking to the referee in English, saying, "Ref, I got the ball. We're going to see it again." He comes across, he wins it maybe just the way he follows through, but I would argue that Frankowski follows through on him as well. It's unfortunate for Chouameni, just France's second yellow card of the competition. Koundé, the other man to have been cautioned against Denmark. Of course, yellow cards are wiped off after the last 16 and into the quarter-finals. That's unlucky for France, but a real opportunity for Poland.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a yellow card. That he might argue it's a bit of a chop in motion, but I think he's protecting himself as much as Frankowski is with his foot up going in. It's like if you lose the challenge, you win the free kick kind of thing. Anyway, Lewandowski now has got an opportunity. He's a right footer. It's on the left-hand side. Going to suit his style here. And he's got a chance to get it up and down. It doesn't look to me like the wall's quite back far enough, but the referee's happy. Blows his whistle. Robert Lewandowski then stood over it. This is as good a chance as any for Poland. What's he got? Up he steps, hits the wall. Disappointing. Really disappointing. Very
much so. We gave him the big build-up, and you're wanting to test the goalkeeper. Chances are going to be few and far between, you think, for Poland in this game. That was a really excellent opportunity, somewhat fortuitous as well. And in World Cup knockout games, you've got to take the look that comes your way. The star player, and he couldn't quite beat the wall.
No, thumped it straight again. Didn't even get anywhere close to beating the wall, did he really? Cash on his inside. Simple ball, and just trying to keep hold of it with Glick. Then Kivior. Bereszynski playing left back today, but trying to make ground. I think he's a bit of a surprise. Matty Cash is at the halfway line as well. The two full-backs have gone further up. The two holders, Krychowiak trying to mind the shot. And, he's getting aided and abetted by Frankowski as well. Bereszynski's found himself at the byline. Cuts inside the challenge. Now he puts a decent-looking ball into the box. Maybe an opportunity. Can't reach his targets in there. There were 2 or 3 white shirts in there for him to pick out. That was great from Poland. And, France just can't take this for granted, can they? The Poles have come out, and I think they've played an awful lot better this first half than I could have imagined.
Absolutely. I was very disappointed with them in the group stages, but they've come and played with a bit of energy and a bit of flair in this game, haven't they? Berezynski, 50th cap rather for him today. Just got in the ball, just wouldn't settle for him, but Poland on the break again.
Here they go, Matty Cash, chance for a strike, and he's driven across there. The body's in the box. Cash is just trying to hit it in, hoping that somebody gets the touch. It's not the worst effort you're going to see from him. Again, it's I always keep thinking about those Brazilian players in the 70s who'd thump it in from there, but not quite for Matty Cash. But again, engaging stuff. I think Michniewicz has set a few traps. He's got a few wrinkles on what his team are doing. I like how far up the field Berezynski's getting. I like that Matty Cash is going over the halfway line. They're not just sat back waiting to be picked off. And in doing that, they're giving themselves a bit of a chance going forward. Whether they're too open at the backs is the other side of it, the other story. Weirdly, we're seeing Zielinski chasing back at times, but Griezmann picks the ball up now. Edge of the area, Mbappe, and Cash stands off him. He steps inside him anyway, and he thumps it into the side net in Mbappe. He reckons it was a touch by the keeper there. He's had a corner kick. Let's take a look at it. Tell us what you see, Jack.
Yeah, lovely play by Mbappe. It is a save, isn't it? The near post by Szczesny.
Wasn't going in.
No, it wasn't going in. One of those, half the stadium thought it was in there, into the side netting. It was good play by Mbappe. Maybe the wrong option, though, because the angle was so tight.
I tell you what, it's an exciting game, this. It's not quite what I was expecting, but I think what I was hoping for, really competitive. But France have a corner. Ball comes in, up go the heads. It's not being cleared away. Giroud now looking to hook it over his shoulder. And then the keeper comes out. It's a big, big collision in there. And I think Upamecano is the man down on the deck, jumping into Szczesny. I don't think there's any kind of foul in there. And I guess that will just end up a goal kick.
Yeah, or maybe a free kick. It's a real collision. Both have only got eyes for the ball. And Upamecano goes right into Szczesny. He tries to pull out at the final moment, doesn't he? Szczesny palms it away. He gets a bit of a bash for his trouble as well, the Bayern Munich defender. Luckily, Szczesny seems to be fine.
Yeah, he's all right just as well, eh? I think they might have wanted to look at that again had Szczesny been down and injured there. It's one of those where I think it's over Upamecano's shoulder. He's only got eyes for the ball, and then all too late he realises he's thumping into the goalkeeper. I don't think it was a real big deliberate attempt on a foul. I know you'd have to give credit to the referee Jesus Valenzuela for not getting suckered into going too big on that and giving him a yellow. We've already seen Tchouameni as the ball is given away by Lloris at the edge of his area. Koundé's done really well there under pressure, but he can't find Griezmann. Springing a trap up the field, but that was poor from Lloris.
What is Lloris doing there? It's the way he strikes the ball, all the angles are wrong. He takes it on his left where he should be playing it with his right. He had time to do something a bit more measured, but he fizzed it at Koundé, and he's put his side in trouble. Yeah,
here comes Berezynski again. Ball round the back. A real opportunity. Here his shot comes in. It's safe. Oh, second opportunity and a third. Cleared off the line by Varane. Oh, my goodness me. How is that not hit the back of the net? And then they're trying to work it again. The ball breaks kindly for France. How is that not 1-0 to Poland?
Zielinski forcing a great save out of Lloris. You could say he's made amends, but that error that he made, Varane made the second block, didn't he? But that error that Lloris made kind of sums up where France might fall down. Is lacking a bit of concentration. We're just having a bit of a delay in the play. The referee, the camera focuses on him as he's taking a bit of a breather. Good play again down the left-hand side. Zielinski strikes it well. The second effort, Lewandowski, I think. Varane off the line. He might have been taking a VAR check at some point. I'm not quite sure. Eventually, this time, Berezynski can't put it in the box. And out for a goal kick. You know,
we've already mentioned about Jules Koundé, who is a great defender, isn't he? But he's not a right-back. And I thought he was beaten all too easily there in that first passage of play. You know... And then I'm saying, for me, Zielinski's got to score. He's on a plate. He's gone for power, and he's hit it almost straight at the goalkeeper. Second attempt comes to him on his left. Can't do much with that. When the ball breaks to Lewandowski, his effort's on target, and although he's beating the keeper, doesn't beat Varane. But that is as close as we've got to a goal, and really exciting stuff. It's been a real good game this so far.
It's been fabulous, hasn't it? I thought it was going to be a bit of a routine 2-0 win maybe to France, but... Well, after the first 10 minutes, I thought I was probably right. But Poland have grown into the game and grown in confidence, and they've had their chances. Would they have deserved to have gone ahead? Maybe not, but that's arguably the best chance we've had in the game.
No, it undoubtedly is, and you play to, if people make mistakes, then you try your best out of it. They just had 3 shots on goal there, didn't they, in that one move? And in the end, there had to be saves from the keeper, clearance off the line. Look at Didier Deschamps, obviously. I don't think he's thrilled with what he's seen in the last few minutes. Sometimes teams are a good fit for you or not. I think Mbappe's a bad fit for everybody who plays against him, but he's just one player, and everybody else has got to get in line behind him. And I also did wonder at the back and in midfield. We mentioned the players that are missing. Not more so than N'Golo Kante, as there's a little half turn in the middle of the back, and Krychowiak had got in too deep on Mbappe there. That won't be the first foul we see from Gregor Krychowiak, who we're used to seeing. We watched him a long time ago in La Liga. It seems an age ago now, doesn't it? And I think he'd been at Sevilla and Valencia and at some good clubs, hasn't he, in his career? And he knows what he wants to do. He's at Al Sadd now, isn't he? Or Al Shabab, should I say? Anyway, free kick for France. Griezmann stood over it. Nice to see him getting through 90 minutes of play, isn't it? Or at least having the chance of that at Atletico Madrid. Anyway, ball in. Krychowiak heads away. Ball breaks back out then for France, who have Dembele, and then out to the right-hand side, looking to work it. Again in midfield, Tchouaméni, and again Koundé over the halfway line, finds Dembele on the right-hand side. Ball back on his inner. Rabiot, ball in, not very good. Very ordinary that really. And now Poland, though, we're trying to clear their lines. Brzezinski makes not a hash of it, but he makes heavy weather there, and then the poor clearance this time from Szczesny, but at least he cleared it out for a throw.
He did clear out for a throw. Just looking at the bench options in midfield for France, because Rabiot's having one of those games. He's either fabulous or he's not. As Koundé is told, he's going to have to take his chain off. In fact, he's got a couple of chains, hasn't he, around his neck.
Did he not know the rules?
I think he forgot to take it off pre-game, because there was earlier I noticed he had it on. He was trying to tuck it into his shirt, so he was obviously aware. And then the officials were quick to it. Maybe they saw the same replay I did.
Yeah, weird that really. Anyhow,
and in doing that, he had to go back to get an assistant to take it off, and he's lost his side about 10 yards with that throw, hasn't he?
Yeah, weird. Weird and also unnecessary, as Theo Hernandez picks the ball up. He finds it, Rabiot. He goes back into midfield for Tchouaméni. And now Matty Cash comes out just to chase the 10 out. Mbappe, he forced to go back. It's not a good ball from him. Now Varane over the halfway line, the Manchester United man. Nearly ran into trouble there, but ball taken off him. But Koundé picks it back up. France then just about all over the halfway line, trying to work something at the edge of the area. Giroud's in the middle, watching him running, waiting for it now as the ball comes in. It's over his head, and that ball, a defensive header up in the air. France will have to start again on the left-hand side, and Hernandez again to Mbappe, just swapping passes with him. They work it to the byline with Theo Hernandez. What's the ball like? Through the box, shocker. And Brzezinski can't head that one away.
Delivery's been poor from France, hasn't it? When they've had a chance to put the ball in the box, it's invariably overhit. We also had that Dembele half chance where he fired it across the goal towards Giroud. Just lacking a bit of composure in the final third, Les Bleus, but just slowly but surely heading towards the heart. They just seem to be going through the gears a bit more now.
Yeah, here they are again with Koundé, right-hand side. This time Dembele on his inside. Took a while to control that. Again, little give and go. A chance for Giroud. The shot comes in. It's in the back of the net. And he's done it again. Olivier Giroud. He can't stop scoring. An elder statesman he may be, but he still knows the route to goal, and he's found it again. An easy strike, a lovely little run, a lovely little tickle into the back of the net.
It's one of those goals where you want to see a replay because it was so easy, it's almost suspicious, wasn't it? A lovely ball, a lovely run. And a lovely finish as well by Olivier Giroud. On his left foot, went across the goalkeeper who had to come out. He had no chance in the end. Wojciech Szczesny, we mentioned that after that little scare, France was starting to improve. And now Olivier Giroud, record goal scorer for France. 52 goals in 6 less games than Thierry Henry as well. Upamecano in to Mbappe, isn't it? Slide ball through. Oh, Kirior just went to sleep, didn't he?
He did. You cannot let him go like that. You cannot let him go. And he just did. All of a sudden, you're looking at Giroud's number.
Old school centre forward player that. He just steps behind Kirior, and as soon as he realises the player's looking at the ball, he goes straight across him and he's gone.
Yeah, and then that's it. Ball roll to me is a good one, but it's just touch control. And I get, you know what? Before the goalkeeper settles, I'll just roll it in. It's just such a cool, calm and composed finish. That's what we expect of him. You know, we're giving the big licks, didn't we, before, you know, in this first half talking about him. But he's a class act, and he's always has been. You know, he's brilliant in the air. You know, he's good over the deck. You know, clearly, he thinks about what he wants out of it. And he's got exactly what he wanted there with his goal. He'd been kept quiet to some degree, but he's only got to beat that player once. And that was just awful defending from Kirior, the Spezia man. Just watching him just peel away. His shot comes in from Poland, and that's into side netting. Not a bad effort, that, just from the edge of the area. And in the end, I'm wondering who that was.
Kaminsky, wasn't it? The ball just fell to him and he struck it. Griezmann who got the blocking, so doing some good defensive work there.
Anyway, corner kick. Poland have been good this half. Kan Zielinski salvaged something out of the half for them. The ball swiped to the far post, headed back across. Out comes Lloris. Oh, and he drops it. Oh, dearie me. He came for an easy ball. He made it look easy, but he gets it easily and then he drops it easily. Onto the head of
He's made one fabulous save in this game, but he's arguably been the worst player on the pitch, hasn't he, Lloris?
Well,
he's had one of those halves where every time he gets it, you worry.
I tell you what, he's taking the mick there. He dropped it onto the head of Lewandowski, and then the ball goes back. He's just dead unlucky there, Lewandowski. He doesn't get a goal for nothing out of a terrible goalkeeping mistake. Wowee. Yeah, Lloris, the French skipper, has made 2 absolute howlers, but he got away with it. France 1, Poland 0, and I think Poland have played a lot better than I expected. I expect France to score. I expect Giroud to be in and amongst it, and Mbappe, I don't know if he was provider for that, but that goal came from his side, didn't it? But I didn't expect Poland to be quite as good as they've been this first half, and that's not being patronising and patting them on the head. I'm genuinely impressed with them this half. Anyway, they've got work to do, though, as there's a bit of collision in the middle of the park. Giroud, this time not left to his own devices. And he's still down on the deck, so too the Poland man, so they don't let Les Bleus take this free kick quickly. Anyway, Giroud's all right, gives the thumbs up. And it is France 1, Poland 0, and it looks like that will be it then for the half. The players drift off. Giroud's goal is the difference between the two teams at the break.
between France and Poland. Olivier Giroud's goal makes a difference heading into the second half. Lovely ball through by Mbappe and a brilliant run by Giroud. Just left Kiwior for dead. But Poland have had the chances. One cleared off the line by Zielinski, and Varane also making a fine block. They've kicked off, going left to right in the second half. I'm Jack Ogilvie, joined by John Hogan for, hopefully another thrilling 45.
Yeah, I think we'll get it. I think the goal means that it'll have to open out. Look at Poland already holding a shape. You know, there's no point in them sitting back. So if they stretch the game out, create chances, I think it'll open up for France as well. Maybe even make it a little bit easier to fulfil that forecast. I said I think France would win by 2 clear goals, and I stand by that. I think the quality that they've got, particularly going forward, it's too much. But Poland were great in the first half, and I really mean that. I think they might have surprised a few with the way that they played, and they just need a little bit more luck, don't they? So I wouldn't write off their chances, but personally, I'm sticking with what I thought initially. And here they go again. Dembele trying to get around the back, and is that going to be a yellow card? I think it will be.
Yeah, Berezinski picks up a yellow. He protests his innocence. It was an untidy challenge, shall we say, one he had to make. Dembele got the wrong side of it. He was into the box. The Sampdoria man looks to... he says he got the ball, but Dembele touched it onto him more than anything, and he was already committed.
Oh, he just chops him down, doesn't he? I mean, it's as clear-cut a yellow card as you're going to get. He just left for dead there by the pace of Dembele, and when he so poked that ball past him, he can't live with it. Anyway, it's a free kick in a dangerous area.
It is indeed. That's Berezinski's first caution of the competition. He's still having a conversation with Mbappe. Footballers always explain how the referee's wrong, aren't they? I think he was right on that occasion, as Griezmann's got a free kick from the right-hand side. There's a pod of 3 players: Tchouaméni, Upamecano and Giroud on the penalty spot. Mbappe is a bit further forward. Varane's in the 6-yard area, and Rabiot at the back post. 3 players lined up on the edge of the area as well, as Koundé, Hernandez and Dembele. Griezmann will take it. It's low and it was a near post, punched away by Szczesny, out to Theo Hernandez, and well wide in the end. It's been in vogue, hasn't it, sending the ball in towards the near post after Morocco's goal against Belgium this time last week. In fact, Varane almost got his head to it. It was solid goalkeeping by Szczesny, made decent ground with the punch away.
Yeah, he had to be certain there, and no sense trying to catch it. There's a lot of action on the ball. Just better off than to punch away, and better there for Koundé just to give it the up and under in his clearance. But I still think Koundé is the man that they can attack down that right-hand side. He's not a right back, and it shows, and he's a good player, clearly. He's actually a little bit small for a centre-back, but that's where he's supposed to be at 5'11". He gets up pretty well here. The next run from Dembele, just toe poked that ball too far ahead of himself and can't get on the end of it. So I think the game is going to get really stretched now. Poland have to hold their shape better and not just drift back into their own half. And they've already done that, but that's a shocking ball from Krychowiak. I hope they don't lose what they had the first half. They had a bit of momentum and they played quite well. But they're going to have to play a little bit differently, aren't they?
Yeah, aren't they? 4 or so minutes into the second half, France leading 1-0. Going right to left on our TV pictures in the second half. Hugo Lloris, who had a roller coaster first half, a couple of glaring errors, and one wonder save as he clears. Glick and Giroud will wrestle. Glick wins it. Giroud would just have been the guilty party. They're very happy to play on, though, with Poland having the ball through Zielinski. Right, Berezinski. It's Frankowski who's making the run down the left-hand side. Gives it away to Koundé. Varane goes back on himself. 90th cap today for Raphael Varane. 3rd World Cup for the Manchester United man, playing in both 2014 and, of course, 2018. Mbappe's not happy because a poor ball by Griezmann towards Giroud, and now Lewandowski can turn 30 yards out, tries to thread it through, I think, to Kaminski, who couldn't quite make it. And now Theo Hernandez done really well, and he set Mbappe away. Glick does so well there. He came across and got his body in the way as much as anything, made the block. Must be having a bit of a smile to himself. He's not a smiling type, is he, Kamil Glick? But it was a great bit of defending there.
Yeah, he smiled on the inside. I tell you what surprised me there. You think Mbappe is quick. Hernandez was catching him, wasn't he? And I just thought, wow, load of pace there. He just poked the ball around Matty Cash. It's the second time he's been beaten, but he probably wasn't expecting that from Hernandez. Here come Poland, a real opportunity for them.
Yeah, Zielinski steps over. I thought he could have gone through himself there, but he works it and eventually works it to Matty Cash. Now a shot from Zielinski. He's had one off the line. Griezmann's back there and slides in to make the challenge. Makes good territory. Szczesny, the only player in the Polish half, comes out and gives it to Kiwior. Glick will have to go back to the goalkeeper in the end. And he'll then stroke it to Kiwior. This is a good start to the second half by Poland, who are undoubtedly growing in confidence. They were pretty tepid against Argentina, okay against Saudi Arabia, not great against Mexico. As Upamecano slides in, catches Kaminski, but gets the ball first, and the last touch did. That's a really good bit of officiating, actually.
I think
touch came off.
I think it's a free kick. I mean, he gets the ball up on Upamecano, and he slid right through his man. You can't do that anymore. Even if you get the ball first, you're not allowed to chop the man down. So I think that's a mistake by the officials anyway. Back in the day, that would have been a really good challenge, ball and all, wouldn't it? But I'm not sure about that.
The winner of this game goes on to face either Senegal or England. They play this evening at 7 o'clock. You can catch the game on this service, as well as the quarter-final next Saturday and all the remaining matches in the competition. Japan play Croatia tomorrow at 3 o'clock, then 7 o'clock. It's Brazil in action, isn't it, against South Korea. Morocco, Spain. The other match, just as it breaks down, Rabiot will play it on to Mbappe. Rabiot has Mbappe making an overlapping run. He rolls it into him. Giroud's looking for space. It's between everyone. Berezinski comes across and makes the block in the end. A nice smile from Rabiot, who almost had too many options there.
It was a delicious ball because Mbappe has timed it right. He's onside, but he's running out of time there, isn't he? He's got to play that ball, and blue shirts just weren't available. There were about 5 white shirt Polish defenders and only 2 targets to hit, and he couldn't quite manage it, but it was great play by France, that.
Portugal, Switzerland's the other game on Tuesday to go alongside Morocco, Spain. Again, you can catch those on this service. Choumeni will stroke it back to Jules Koundé. Little inside ball's a nice one to Griezmann, and Dembele takes over down the right-hand side for France. He goes backwards rather than forwards. He's certainly meeting his match with Berezinski, who's played well as a left-back. He usually plays right-back or centre-half whenever I've seen him for Sampdoria or the national team, but playing well, bit of extra encouragement, I suppose. Here's his 50th cap today. Mbappe was surely dragged back. No, play on. Matty Cash has it over the halfway line. He looks up, measures his options, decides to go backwards to Gregor Krakowiak, who will find Piotr Zielinski. Cash down the right-hand side, inside ball, just a bit weak as he was looking to find Kaminski. It dropped short, and Choumeni, so smooth, just turns his man and rolls it to Griezmann, and now they move through a bit of pattern of play as Dembele. Griezmann's in behind, He's got a man at the back post. It's Mbappe, Glick's there, no nonsense, good defending, experienced play by Glick, but just like that, 3 passes and they were through, France.
3-inch perfect pass to the last one, and we talk about a team purring, and they look so good, don't they? So many good players in it, seemingly playing well. Really impressed with Griezmann in the middle of the park. No nonsense, uses pace, go win the ball. He doesn't faff about with it. He looks to pass first, the second time. They're using the ball quickly for the most part, and then they know when to put the afterburners on and take advantage of the pace that they've got out wide on a break. Yeah, it's they're very good to watch here. a good value for a 1-goal lead. And Poland have been a lot better than I expected, but still struggling to keep up with them, really.
All right, there's a Dembele, receives it on the right-hand side, cuts inside onto his left foot, will go down the right now. Maybe should have played it a bit earlier. Koundé helps him out by winning the ball back. Dembele thought about the shot. He plays it wide to Koundé, but that man Berezinski with another sharp bit of the defending. Plays it out for a throw. Dembele, the coaches like him, don't they? Deschamps is certainly a favourite. Xavi, I think, was the driving force by keeping him at Barcelona, but you watch him, he's so frustrating because the talent is there. Just the decision making. A couple of times, even in that bit of play, you wanted him to be more direct. He overplayed and it broke down. It was Mbappe. Nice bit of skill to chop it back to Hernandez, then plays it the wrong side of Mbappe. And Krakowiak can come back, and then wasteful by the Al-Shabaab man. Finds only Griezmann. Now Mbappe. Inside left position. He goes for the goal. He's deflected. Trundles past the far post. Szczesny was committed. Fortunately for Poland, a double ricochet and wide.
Yeah, he's on his backside there, the keeper. He ain't going to get that. And Mbappe is good, isn't he? He can take you on the outside for pace. He can bring it back on the inside, get a good shot away, and he's done just that. I think if England managed to beat Senegal, and that's a big if, then I think Walker's going to have to be out on that right, use his pace, try and negate the skill he's got. But even then, you've got a problem on the inside, him stepping into the inside and somebody having to block away, but not easy.
Griezmann's ball in towards the near post, away by Lewandowski. 7th corner that was for France, as Griezmann, nice technique, loops it in, punched away by Szczesny. It's not clear, the goalkeeper's down, and Giroud into the net. However, a foul. I don't know where the foul is there. The goalkeeper's come over the top. He's punched the ball away over the top of Varane.
I think once the keeper's out of the game, you've got to blow your whistle and call it, don't you?
But it's the keeper's momentum that's taking him down, though. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, he came out to clear the ball. He did, and that took him into Varane. Let's take another look at it. Good goalkeeping. And then there's a whole heap of players.
He falls onto his own player.
Well, one down holding his head there. So player got to stop. And then you work it out, who's doing what to who. I'm looking at Varane backing in, not really challenging for the ball.
Varane's got eyes for the ball. He's going for it. Szczesny comes over the top of him and he falls down. And it's the defender, I'm not quite sure who it is, whose feet flick up and actually kick Szczesny. So I don't know where the foul is and all that. I don't think they will give the goal.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think... you stop the play when there's a head injury, so the play should have stopped before the ball got to Giroud. It's a brilliant finish from him. They still try to clear it off the line, but I don't think that goal's going to stand. It just doesn't look quite right, that, does it? Anyway, it is what it is. There's no goal being put on the scoreboard to be taken away by VAR, so clearly they've not even given that to start with, and I don't think VAR is taking a look, and the referee has a word with Giroud, and he just smiles back at him. So he's seemingly accepting of that, and Milik is about to come on now. I wonder who for. Kaminski's not done an awful lot. Zielinski's played a little bit better this time around, but we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, I can't see them taking off Zielinski. Karol Swiderski played against Argentina. He dropped out of the side. Milik, you imagine, might come on for Kaminski, like you say, is that's I thought a loose challenge by Zielinski, but it's a throw into Poland. Upamecano's not happy. Almost into the 60th minute, France 1, Poland 0. Kaminski has it on the right-hand side, a poor ball in, it's a low one. Griezmann just toe pokes it away, Giroud will hold it and look towards Mbappe, but Glick got just enough on it just to stall the momentum of the ball. Giroud puts a hand of apology up towards Mbappe. You can see he's starting to grow a bit restless with his arm movements. As Kivior has it, Berezinski now just inside French territory. Christophe Piontek's another option. They've got a real loaded bench as far as attackers go, haven't they, Poland? Looks like Milik is the first man who's going to come on for them. Glick has it on the halfway line into Zielinski, who's playing a very free role. Matty Cash wants it right on the right hand side, but Zielinski happy to take it on himself. And plays it back towards Krakowiak. Cap 98 for Gregor Krakowiak. 32-year-old Al-Shabaab, as John said in the first half. It's wasteful by Poland. They almost gave away. Great challenge by Krakowiak. Mbappe's eyes lit up. Cash sweeps it in towards Frankowski. It gives up the ball though. Now Griezmann will get past Krakowiak, and Krakowiak tries to tackle him. It was like a full-back in rugby union there. Didn't work out. Dembele on the right-hand side cuts it back to Mbappe. Well played by, I think it's Frankowski getting back. No, Szymanski, wasn't it, who came from the blind side of Mbappe to intercept and pick his pocket. Mbappe has it against Tchouameni, and Rafa Varane's all the way up there. That was a wonderful bit of play by Szymanski. From a defensive point of view, it just looked like it was all going to fall apart for Poland. It was all coming together for France. Szymanski read the play really well.
Yeah, he did. He took it off the toe end of Mbappe, who was waiting in a good position, unmarked in the box, just thinking, right, where am I going to put this shot? Next thing, the ball's taken away from him, as if by magic. But they're running to stand still to some degree, Poland, having to put lots of effort in, but the ball keeps breaking back on them. Now, they've just filed back into their own half. I think Poland having a little bit of a break now, but here we go again, Theo Hernandez.
Yeah, on the left-hand side, he plays it back to Mbappe. They're trying to make it the Kylian show at the moment, aren't they? Everyone seems to want to find the PSG man. 3 goals in the tournament so far. Rabiot, Juve's Rabiot. Harry Milik, of course, is a Juve player, and he'll be coming on in the not too distant, we think, as Koundé breaks 4. That's a good bit of defending by Frankowski, who tracked the run, but Rabiot steps in. He's improved in this second half. He was a bit hit and miss in the first. Now Tchouameni told to switch the play by Griezmann. His eyes against it, keeps it short. Griezmann now has it down at a walking pace. Rabiot looks wide towards Mbappe, who controls nicely, but Cash, who's generally done pretty well against Mbappe, shows him backwards and then sweeps a teammate across to help double up on Mbappe. France recycling the ball. Hernandez. Tchouameni now. French leading 1-0 thanks to Giroud's record goal. 52 now as Giroud, Griezmann rather, flicks it in. Mbappe at the back post. Looks up. Giroud wants it at the far post. On the left-hand side is Mbappe. Back from him to Dembele. Back to Mbappe. I don't think it was meant to be a pass, but it found Griezmann from as he was shooting around 6 yards out. Again, it wasn't a well-weighted ball by Dembele, was it?
Well, I've got to say, I think that was a shot, and he missed by about 45 yards.
Yes, as Mbappe goes down, where can the defender go? It was an offside, actually, and all that. I don't know if this has happened before in the tournament, but Serginho Dest was the first player I've seen to shoot for goal and go out for a throw-in. I think if Griezmann wasn't there, that's exactly what would have happened from Mbappe there.
Yeah, I think it might not be the only one. I saw that from Dest, who he's a weird player, isn't he? And got bags of energy. But I think both the USA fullbacks look like they're quick and athletic, but aren't actually that good at football. Anyway,
well, it was obviously a set play that the Dutch have been working on to attack, to drift in on Dest, wasn't it? Of course, played at Ajax with a number of the Dutch players. And they obviously picked him out as a potential weakness as Milik has come on
for Szymanski, and so last action from him was nicking the ball off the toe end of Mbappe. That probably would have been 2-0, so fair play to that, but Milik would want to get forward a little bit more. They've got to score a goal, don't they? And they can't just come off say, well, we defended quite well, it ended up 1-0. They've got to say, well, we tried to land a blow. We tried to grab a goal. They need to open it up just that little bit more. In doing that, they could be susceptible to counter-attack, but they've got to try.
Well, they're not going to hold back, are they? It looks like Zielinski's going to play down the middle of the park, an attacking midfielder, really. Certainly plays off the front for Napoli, doesn't he? Giroud skillfully plays it around the corner to Rabiot, who Zielinski just has a bit of a kick in his calves and then tries to bring him down, thinks better of it as Rabiot ambles away now. Giroud, Milik boots Giroud in back play. France coming forward though. Koundé has it, level the edge of the box. Strokes it back to Dembele, who's got Tchouaméni to help. Griezmann's playing his wandering role. Inside right position. On his left foot we'll find Tchouaméni. He'll dink it over the top to Koundé, who's unmarked. Lovely touch by the Barcelona man. Fires it towards Giroud. And into the side netting. Offside flag had gone up there.
Yeah, this time he just stolen a march, but had got ahead. Didn't look like he was ahead, did he? Anyway, touch and goal, whether he was or not. Actually, in VAR would have taken a long, hard look at that. Kivior again, this time getting out a little bit closer to him. And it does look like France about to make a change.
Yeah, it looks like Tchouaméni's going to come off. And it's going to be Fofana to come on, the Monaco man. Youssef Fofana, 6th cap for him. Oh, Eduardo Camavinga may have been a player to favour in the middle of the park, and a tough day of it against Tunisia, playing well out of position at left back. And his chances at Real Madrid haven't been too regular with Tchouaméni around, but he's a fine player, Camavinga. Given away by Rabiot. Minsky battles with Theo Hernandez, who is both fast and strong, and just bumps his man off, and it will be a goal kick to be taken by Hugo Lloris.
I'm really impressed by Theo Hernandez. I know why Juventus have him. You know, he's exactly the brand of football that they like. You know, we've seen the pace of him, and like you said, just the strength to hold his man off. I think if I perceive weaknesses, it's with the centre-backs, Varane and Upamecano, but they haven't really been tested out. Koundé's in the wrong position, really. But again, although Brzezinski got round him in the first half, they've not really been able to attack down that flank second. So France seem to be coming up with more answers, don't they, really? I don't know what Tchouaméni had done wrong to go off, but anyway, just fresh legs in. Fofana doesn't hurt. It's France's to lose at 1-0, but for Poland, they just need to up the ante, don't they?
Yeah, Theo Hernandez, of course, in the side, you say, because his brother Luco went off early doors against Australia. I think it wouldn't be a bad balance if Lucas had played inside, as he often does for Bayern Munich, and Theo had been the left full-back, come wing-back, as Zielinski shows nice feet and a good switch of play towards Kaminski, Frankowski rather, the ball into the box towards Milik, and Upamecano just about does enough. In fact, it's Kaminski coming across from the right-hand side. It was a good ball, wasn't it, by Frankowski?
But again, because Koundé is too narrow on that side, he's not taking the position of a right-back, and so that allows that raking ball out, and they might have got something out of that. I think it's little things, isn't it? But if there are weaknesses, it's down there, it's with the centre-backs, you know, and maybe just that little bit of complacency that France have got. They're 1-0 and it's almost like they're cruising, but it's just a one-goal game, that's all.
Absolutely, there are certainly gaps to exploit for Poland, who, similar to the first half, look to be growing in confidence as the second goes on. Milik, was he fouled by Fofana? No. Play on, the Monaco man gets his head up, he's looking for a runner. That runner could have been Dembele, the ball was too strong though. And Kivior will sweep up, play it forward to Krychowiak. We are into the final quarter of the last 16 clash at the World Cup between France and Poland. 1-0 to Les Bleus, and John will take us through to full time.
Another good ball looking out to the left-hand side, but Koundé was just a little bit further across this time. Now finds Varane, Dembele's down, he'd come to help out. The ball with Upamecano, who slides it forward, and Mbappe steps over it and then tries to win the race, and Cash, he's just hanging on for grim life there and only just able to beat him. You know, it's one of those where you know, he sort of runs around the ball almost and catches up with it the other side. He hardly ever works out there, but again for Mbappe, nearly made it stick. Zielinski's getting on the ball a lot more, just ball to the edge of the area, maybe an opportunity. It's all got a little bit tight in there, and Kaminski couldn't get rid of the ball. Cash at the edge of the area though, and Poland now trying to work something and get good ball in. give Lewandowski a chance, but for the moment it's Lewandowski on the ball outside the box, gets a shove there, and again just thought it was a free kick there, not given by our referee, and Mr. Valenzuela there should have given that. It's a clear foul.
Yeah, it's silly, isn't it, by Pamecano? We're seeing Cashri on Mbappe again. Cash tries to take Mbappe out. Mbappe has to go round the long way, and Cash regathers and does well. Didier Deschamps, but not happy at all. Double change. Zaleski, the Roma man, and Bielik, the Birmingham man, going to come on. So it looks like Kaminski's going to come on for Zaleski. Is this going to be a change of shape, maybe? Zaleski usually plays as a left back or left wing back. Krakowiak's going to be replaced by Bielik. The one of the veterans of the Polish side, 32, Krakowiak. The legs don't always carry him through the 90, and Christian Bielik will complete the game. 9th cap for him, former Derby and Arsenal man, and with a set piece to come, a pretty good guy to bring on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Zielinski stood over the ball, right hand side, delivers it into the box. Good looking ball, and the header comes across. Too much on that, looped over, and Kamil Glick, I think it was, at the far post, just nodding it back where it came, but under pressure there from Koundé, I think it was, and just didn't allow him to get over the top of the ball. It's actually good defending that. Yeah,
just about by Koundé, jumped with his man there, didn't he? It was almost one of those as well with Glick, where he was on his way down as he headed the ball, but I think Poland have been fantastic in this game. I was just trying to gather my thoughts there and think of something insightful to say, but that was the best I could come up with.
No, they've been great. They've really given it a go, haven't they? And one way or another, they can be proud, but they'd rather be proud and still be in the competition. It's trapdoor football. This round is 16 as Mbappe is the ball taken off him, and Poland can come again in the middle of the park. Zielinski playing more and more of a part, but that was a poor ball. And now no chance really for Zaleski to get on it. Ball back to Lloris. He launched it over the halfway line, but nobody's going to pick that up. Bar Kamil Glick, who is able to turn under no pressure. France are in that funny position where they don't know whether to stick or twist at the minute. You know, a second goal will probably kill it off stone dead, but they're a bit worried because Poland are coming forward.
They're also in a very funny position in that they're carrying Kylian Mbappe at the moment. He's not doing any work off the ball. He was offside there. So he seems to be almost playing for himself in this second half. He's not making the runs. He's not passing when he should do. And we're seeing him now. He's kind of isolated with his hands on his hips and not closing the man down who's on the ball now like he should. And his man is about to get it.
Yeah, Bielik then turns it around the corner. Cash continues his run. Tries to get the cut back in. That ball's going to roll out. Will be a Poland throw parallel with the edge of the area. Good stuff this by Poland, taking quickly. And then Zaleski can't get the ball in. That's a terrible ball from him, and that puts Bielik into a desperate challenge. The ball goes forward now. Mbappe keeps it in, but
well, he's just given up there, hasn't he? It was a poor touch, but he can still press the man.
Yeah, he I don't know, cuts a frustrated figure, but the game going end to end, and he's got to do that little bit more. You know, he's like a fair weather footballer at the moment, and France could do without that. You've got Giroud, who probably his age now is blowing bubbles, having worked hard for the team, and then Mbappe, who didn't want to chase a lost cause, seemingly. So, yeah, they need to do a little bit more. Anyway, in the middle of the park, Poland come again with the Cash over the halfway line, just about keeps that ball in. Strokes the ball to the edge of the area. The little flick now is going to come back out. Lewandowski rises for the header. Ball won't break back to him. And there's a man who shows you how it should be done. Griezmann back defending. They've got 3 against 3 now. The ball goes to Giroud and then Dembele out the right-hand side. Cuts in. Mbappe's in a lot of space. Can he find him? Yes, he can. Into the area. Chance for a strike. Strikes. And there we go. 2-0 to France. Yeah, lazy Mbappe smashing it into the back of the net.
Yeah, forget everything I said. It was wrong. Mbappe whipping home. We'll have a look at that. I think it's a case of, though, the ball having already gone past the goalkeeper before he's had the chance to move, whipping home. And you have to say, booking France's place in the quarterfinals next weekend.
Yeah, I just think Poland were committed to going forward, holding bodies up. But if you go 3 against 3 with this France attack, you're in big trouble, aren't you? And the fact was as well that although they may be in 3 against 3, actually nobody was marking Mbappe. You stood off him there, just waiting for his strike at goal, and he hits it dead hard and into the back of the net. nothing Szczesny can do about that. So Kylian Mbappe remains their ace in the pack. All that after a decent looking attack, but in the end Milik couldn't quite get the ball to Lewandowski, and then as soon as they come out, look how cool Giroud is. He knows when to travel, when to pass. Dembele then waiting for the right moment. But I tell you what, I think I know it's difficult there, but Glick just jogging back, just never gets anywhere near him. He don't want to be embarrassed, but I don't think you just then allow him to have an easy strike, which he did, into the back of the net. Glick's got to have his eye open.
Even worse, him and Kivior get in the way of Szczesny there, so he can't react. 8th goal at the World Cup in total for Mbappe. That is 4th in this tournament. That takes him clear in the race for the Golden Boot, doesn't he? So 8th goal in total. 2nd best of all time for France. Giroud comes off. Thuram's going to come on. Do you know the record goal scorer for France at the World Cup, John?
Don't know.
Just Fontaine, 1958.
Just Fontaine.
13 goals in 6 matches, which almost talks of a different era, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Kingsley Coleman's just come on as well. Double change there. And 1958, the last time Wales were in the tournament. And I think young Pele was scoring his first goals in the World Cup in 58 too. But anyway, it is France 2, Poland 0. We said that France would win by 2 clear goals. They may or may not do that. I suppose Poland can grab a goal. 1 goal brings 2, but it seems unlikely. We're looking at that Mbappe strike again. He thumps it into the back of the net. Szczesny makes an attempt, but the ball's past him. And what a fierce strike. He's lamped that in, hasn't he? It's a super strike, really. Yeah,
it's almost like a topspin forehand in tennis, isn't it? He just whips right over the top of the ball, and it's almost past Szczesny before he's even seen it. The goal, the manager rather couldn't quite believe it, but it's a wonderful strike by Mbappe.
Yeah, it sure is. And France have got a lot of weapons, haven't they? And don't have to use them all the time. Mbappe's been having a weird second half. I think you criticised him, and rightly so, giving up on lost causes. But when there is something there that's tangible for him to deal with, then we just watch his quality, and he's got bags of it. Great strike that, and that's the other thing. Don't go goal behind against these guys, because they'll pick you off as well in the counter attack. If England go a goal down, I don't think they want to be throwing Kyle Walker up the field. Not that I think that Kyle Walker should be anywhere over the halfway line anyway, personally. As again, ball with Poland and Matty Cash into midfield, and then Bielik out to the right hand side. Zaleski, percentage ball in, but the next touch is too heavy. And that's from Milik, who hasn't quite got into the game.
No, he hasn't. You feel that if he'd been on the pitch for 5 or so minutes longer, it would have been a bit more easy for him there. He tried taking his stride. He is stretching somewhat. The Juve forward scored against Paris Saint-Germain earlier in the season. Didn't he see Thuram and Coman on? I know one of them is Dembele, who's gone off, and Olivier Giroud, the other one. So I'm guessing Mbappe, there he is. The man down the middle now.
Yeah, that's right. Again, out the stretched out to left-hand side. Marcus Thuram on the ball. Do what they want now, seemingly. There's Mbappe, little step overs, bit of showboat in now. It'll go down like a cup of cold sick. I mean, he's got to be careful. I would have taken him off. I think Poland have really given it an effort, and far be it from me to say that they'll start crunching in if they feel they can't win the game, but those kind of things happen, particularly if somebody's taking the mick.
Yeah, I know it's not necessarily even that, is it? A tired challenge. Poland have played a lot without the ball for long spells, and France happy to pop it around, so that means the Polish players having to do a lot of running. It just takes someone stretching for it to catch a player. Well, we saw that with Neymar in the first game against Serbia, didn't he? It was a tired challenge that took him out. He is fit, though, tomorrow against South Korea.
Yep, whether that means he starts or not, they've got an embarrassment of riches, albeit they were embarrassed last time, weren't they, by Cameroon, who, every time I looked at that game, I saw Cameroon on the attack. I thought, well, why can't they win it? Anyway, they did. Varane finds Koundé, stabs the ball forward. Here is Griezmann. He's been great today. So much energy from him. Into the middle of the park, finds Koundé again.
Yes, as France is happy to move the ball around. Fofana into Rabiot. Hernandez. Griezmann's played a different role almost in this World Cup, hasn't he? I think he's played his best bang up top when he's played for Atletico Madrid. He's played as a 10 really for France generally. But he's almost played as an 8.5, a box-to-box midfielder at times in this game, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think he's done well. He's used the ball really well. Zaleski there with strong challenge. Was it a foul on Thuram? I think so. And given by our referee, Jesus Valenzuela. And so, France 2, Poland 0. Just 10 minutes left of the game. It's kind of gone the way I thought it would do. That being said, I thought that France would be comfortable and easy winners. They've been made to work hard for it by Poland, who you might have thought watched them early in the tournament, looked a bit heavy-legged and not of the races. Well, they've done well today. But here is Mbappe, beats 1-2, and then ball breaks into the box. It's stabbed up in the air and over, and not a bad effort there from Hernandez. But he was just off balance when he hit it.
He was, wasn't he? First World Cup knockout game since 1986, isn't it, for Poland? And they've certainly given it a good go. But I suppose we've questioned him, we've questioned Mbappe, we've questioned Dembele a bit as well. But he showed there when he does get it right. It's very, very good, isn't it? It was a good ball to Mbappe, and he'll keep the shirt, you imagine, for next Saturday. It's a frightening front four that France have got, if you want to include Griezmann in there, as he's almost a holding midfielder, the position he's adopted as Poland come forward, overplaying though Milik, who's struggled since coming off the bench. He boots Griezmann as well. He won't get a yellow card, the Venezuelan referee. You feel if the game was in a different situation, the card may have come out, but it just seems to be, in fact it was Lewandowski, wasn't it? But you feel that the game is kind of meandering now.
I'd give him a yellow card for that. No attempt to play the ball. Like I said, now Deschamps looking through his fingers at the game, because here is where, like you said, Eve hits somebody tired of something. You don't want to lose one of your key cogs. And Lewandowski, well, you know, we talked about it. Mishnevich said he doesn't get the support in this team. We need to get him better ball. But that hasn't happened today, has it? You know, again, he's living off scraps. And that's the problem. You've got a man who's lethal in front of goal, but you can't get the ball to him. You know, he's found himself marked by good defenders, and he's found the supply line blocked. I don't know what you do with that. I don't know how they were going to approach this game, Poland, but they just haven't got enough ball to him. No,
they haven't. He had that opportunity where it was blocked off the line by Rafa Varane, but little else really in this game. Just trying to think of how you would. Do you overload one side and get him to play down the right with Zielinski behind him and maybe another player as well? I'm not quite sure. But
I think that's as good as any. If I were looking at this game thinking how we're going to get around France, I think I'd pick on Koundé because he wants to be narrow and just say, let's overload one flank. Back in the day when Roberto Martinez was in charge of Wigan, they famously won an FA Cup, didn't they? What he did with that team in knockout football was almost give them an extra man, and he'd keep overloading one side and say, we're going to win down this flank here. At least give them something, because times they were overmatched. But and I think that's what maybe what Poland needed to do. It may not have worked, but they might at least have got some ball in. Berezinski showed a lot of endeavour to make ground on that flank, but he was only ever by himself in the first half.
Just looking at the options that Poland have got, Kamil Grosicki is on the bench. Yeah, he's 34 now and not as good as he once was, but still an out-and-out winger, and you feel that if you've got someone like Lewandowski in the game, Grosicki might not be as effective as he once was, as I say, but he is going to beat his man once, isn't he? And the ball's going to be in, he can go right or left, and the ball's going to be a decent one. So that would have been, for me, a good percentage play.
Well, I think you look at a team like Croatia, Perisic might belong in the tooth, but he doesn't stop him being their best option and somebody who provides good service. So almost no point bringing Kamil Grosicki if you're not going to give him a go, you know. And I felt maybe they needed to do that. and certainly an option off the bench, second half of a game. Like I said, I thought Bereszynski showed a lot of daring do to make ground down that left-hand side, particularly first half, but it's all one-out football, and he needed support. Here comes Kingsley Coleman now, a good cross, a bit too much adrenaline, and that's through the box, and eventually the ball's shepherded out by Zalewski.
But again, it's needless from Mbappe, isn't it? It's going to be a free kick to Poland because Mbappe's barged at Zalewski. He's saying it's his shoulder, but it's onto the back of Zalewski, and the replay gave him away because he's actually looking at the Polish player as he barges into him. It needs to be a bit more focused and, dare I say, a bit more mature.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's still on. There are crown jewels, aren't they, for France? If Mbappe somehow gets booted up in the air and comes down and does an ankle, or
him doing that has given Zalewski the excuse to boot him, hasn't it? If he does get the opportunity, he might think, I might put my shoulder into the back of him, because if he thinks he can get away with it, maybe I can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're not out there to make friends in that, but Mbappe right now doesn't need to be making enemies, does he? We'll take a look at his strike again. Yeah, the ball maybe wasn't hit as hard as we thought, but it just wasn't coming back. Ball speed 47 miles an hour. Doesn't seem massively quick, does it? But it just didn't give your keeper any kind of chance.
As a car ever passed you at 47 miles an hour, it seems quite quick to me.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get knocked down by a car at 47 miles an hour. That's quite a different thing. Anyway, again, Poland on the ball. Trapdoor football is exciting. For Poland, they've given it a red-hot crack today. They, I think, haven't been able to find, Lewandowski. That much is true. But I think all the rest of it, in terms of the effort and what they've tried to do, has worked out quite well. Bereszynski, like we said, was getting forward. Matty Cash has tried to gallop forward every opportunity. Has got down that right-hand side. I think he's tried to deal with Mbappe quite well. It's the times that he's gone up the field. I mean, Mbappe for the last goal was or wasn't marked by Kamil Glik, and at that point, all bets are off, really. But anyhow, Zielinski on this free kick, very central. He's just going to poke it down the middle, you would have thought. He's got a box loaded, just toe bungs the ball, headed away, and dealt with at least by Rabiot. So the game, I'm just beginning to think petering out now. It's a 2-goal game. Poland need to score right now, don't they, as the ball across, but no chance for Zalewski to get there. Thuram now having a foot race, but again, Matty Cash is going to get a yellow card here, and I think that it's unfair, that, because I think he'd gone shoulder to shoulder 5 more yards, and I think that Thuram's going to beat him there, but he didn't, and it was a shoulder to shoulder challenge.
Yeah, if by some miracle Poland go through, he will. Yeah, I think they're going shoulder to shoulder there as well. It's unfortunate for Cash, his second yellow of the competition. Kamil Grosicki has now come on, replacing Frankowski. Kirior's gone off as well. And Jan Bednarek, who was the lesser spotted Jan Bednarek this season after moving to Aston Villa, he's going to see out the game too.
Yep, a lot of tired bodies out there. And a bit pointless bringing Grosicki on at this point, but anyway, it is what it is. Now Coleman on the ball, just drifts inside. So much pace about this French side. Griezmann just reminds us he might have lost a couple of yards, but he's still so quick and reads the play so well. I remember seeing him in that was it Sociedad team with Carlos Alberto Vela, and being so impressed with him at that point. And we knew he was going to move on to bigger and better things. He's having a good game today. Looked good. As France 2, Poland 0. Who was that in the
Jokev and Trezeguet, wasn't it? And Thomas Kuszak, the Polish representative, ahead of them. I'm trying to remember which team have a player with Jokev as his first. I think it might be Ecuador. Jokiev, a striker, I can't remember his surname now, but
Yuri.
named after, Yuri Jokiev, but it's Jokiev is the Ecuadorian striker's first name, and he's named after Yuri.
Oh, I'd see, right, okay. Yeah, a bit like Dennis Bergkamp, named after Dennis Law. Anyway, here comes Thuram. Something like that.
I was gonna. You couldn't call your son Law, or I was gonna George Best. Just call him Best.
I'm the Law. I don't know. Mbappe with a strike, and that's 3-0. Right-footed into the corner of the net. So Chesney got a hand to it, but there's this fella is unstoppable at the minute, and I don't think it needed to be settled with the third goal, but it was anyway. And he knows the way to goal, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he? That's his 5th goal of the competition, and that was very much a fine player on top of his game, playing against a tired defence. The French kind of worked it down the left-hand side. It fell to Mbappe, and 2 defenders almost fell away from him, and he picked his corner in the far side. No chance at all. 16 goals in his last 14 matches for France. It's a frightening record. You mentioned that you weren't quite sure about France. Take Mbappe out of the team, and they're a different side, but what a side they are with a minute.
Yeah, terrific. I mean, you could forgive him for seeming a bit arrogant, because he's the man at the moment. I think he's the most sort of influential player in the tournament. I really do. Brazil have got some key cogs, haven't they? But this guy is the real deal. He's the new Messi and Ronaldo, isn't he? He's the top player, really, and just impossible to stop, seemingly. Pace about him, but more important, we see lots of players who can run quickly, but it's about control. And then the key thing in football is hitting the back of the net, and he has just launched 2 absolutely brilliant strikes. No keeper he's going to save those. The ball now for Poland, and driven wide. Just not going to be there day to day. Into 5 minutes of added time, we've had 2 of those already.
We have, haven't we? And it's been a less than complete performance by France. Desani's come on for the final moments, I think, replacing Jules Koundé. Yes, that's confirmed. It's been a far from complete performance by France, a bit like pretty much every side that I've seen in this World Cup. You're not quite sure at the back, are you? But that might come the more the defenders play of each other, because it is a bit of makeshift backline. But going forward, at times they've been pretty irresistible.
Yeah, they're very good. You suspect that they don't need to dominate play to win games, because they've got a really quick, swift counter-attack. But equally, I would like to see a team who can dominate play a little bit more and put their back four under pressure. That hasn't happened really today. Maybe a Brazil, maybe even an England, but I would fancy France to beat England, having seen what I've seen today. I'd like I said, Kyle Walker could end up being the key cog for England if he can keep Mbappe quiet, and he's actually a very good defender in that respect. Pace against pace, not many get the better of him.
I'd fancy it'd be Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier, wouldn't it? If I think they might go to a back 3 if they were to play France, just to double up on Mbappe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Although England, when they
play better with a back 4, but there are certain circumstances where you might need to adapt your play to the opposition.
No, and I think they need to do that for Mbappe. He's that good. Anyway, here is Grosicki, beats his man, cross into the box, an opportunity. The header's not been cleared. The shot comes in, brilliant save at the near post then from the bicycle kick. Lloris making a good save then from. I think it was the 7 there, and Milik trying to get on the end of that, was offside anyway.
But good play by Grosicki down the left-hand side, cut inside, right-footed ball in, won by Lewandowski. And Milik, lovely technique, maybe a hint of the ankle, but he caught it well. Good save by, in fact, it was the post, wasn't it?
Good save by the post.
Yeah, well played by the post there. He marked space well.
Yeah, anyway, he was offside, so it didn't matter, but. Kamil Grosicki just showing us his little drop of the shoulder there. It sent half the French nation 10 yards to the left, didn't it? And, just that bit of quality to Sissy now watches another good ball in from Grzycki. He doesn't need to beat him this time. He just puts a good ball in. And you can't help but think that we should have probably seen him a bit sooner.
Yeah, you think so. Too late now, though, isn't it? But that's twice. He's just been more direct than any of his colleagues really have been. And he would have, for me anyway, added something extra to the Poland side.
So, for France then, just watching Poland on the ball in this last bit of the game. A spin and a turn, maybe an opportunity, but the ball is shepherded out. They're claiming a handball there. It ain't going to happen for Poland today. One of those days, they've given it their all, the Eagles, but it's just not enough against the quality French side who are going to win 3-0. Giroud with the opener, 2 goals then from a brilliant Kylian Mbappe. And we're just taking a look here at the handball claim.
You know what, John? Ball's hands away from the body. So looking at it, I think it might be a penalty kick, this.
Well, I hope not. Referee's been asked to go and have a look. I think if it's Upamecano, he's trying to bring his arm back in. He's spinning on the half turn. By the time the ball touches his hand, I think the arm's actually inside his body on the half turn. I wouldn't give it.
But I think he is, as he's going across. It's a harsh one. This is where we don't know where the rules, because his hand is away from his body, but it's inside his body line because he's turning. It's such a bit of a minefield.
It is a minefield. At one point, he's almost like he's punching the ball. He looks so damning from different angles, doesn't it? And I think you need to see the different angles, but they show you the horrible one again and again and again. And what's our referee giving? Pointed to the spot as he anyway. I think it's a disappointing decision, that, personally, but last action of the game might be Lloris picking the ball out the back of his net. Lewandowski's put the ball down. Maybe his swan song out of a World Cup. His last kick might be a goal.
Well, he had one saved, didn't he, against Mexico, Lewandowski?
Yeah, I didn't think that should have been given, and I don't think he did either. And I don't think he hit it with conviction. But anyway, he'll just leather this one, I'm pretty sure, whether it's deserved or not. He wants to give the fans something to celebrate. The Polish fans behind the goal. Up he steps, stutter step. It's a shocking penalty. He's waiting for the goalkeeper to move. The goalkeeper doesn't move an inch, and he ends up almost passing it back to him. That's a rotten... Oh, they're going to take it again. That's a joke. Anyway, Lewandowski grabs the ball again. Let's take a look at this. Look at Lloris off his line. He stepped well off his line before he hits the ball. Lewandowski's stutter step there just doesn't work, though, does it? But Lloris should have stayed on his line. Would have saved it anyway.
He should have stayed on his line, but you've got to have sympathy with the goalkeeper, because he doesn't technically stop, I suppose, Lewandowski, but if he's prepared to take that chance, the goalkeeper should be able to move as well, for me, because the taker's decision to put his own chances in jeopardy by taking that little hop, so the goalkeeper, he's got to do something.
I tell you what, I want to see him just thump this ball now. Pick a corner, thump it in. Don't do your stutter step and try and dink it down the middle. Thump it in, give the fans something to shout about behind the goal. Lewandowski then has got to think about it. I shouldn't be telling him how to take a penalty, but his last one was atrocious. He's missed 2 in the tournament. Anyway, gives it the run around, up he steps, stutter step again. This time Lloris goes to the left, he rolls it in, he gets there eventually, and it's a goal for Poland.
It is a goal for Poland, rolled to the goalkeeper's right. Lloris has gone left, a right smile from Lewandowski. Lloris, understandably unhappy about it. It's a consolation for Poland. Lloris came off his line there, they're going to retake it. But he strokes it home. But I think because of the first decision, it kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. Even so, for me, Poland have deserved a goal, even if it's just a consolation.
Yeah, and the clock rolls on to nearly 100 now. They only had 5 minutes of added time, but anyway, that's the end of the game. Final scoreline then is France 3, Poland 1, but it was a very comprehensive victory for Les Bleus. Thanks for joining us.